Good evening, everyone, and to Seasons Eating. My name's Toby Tanis. I am in the Okanagan College kitchen with the crew, and we are so happy to be with you in your kitchen tonight. This is the days and your opportunity to support Our Students, Your Health campaign. Okay, before we get started, there's something really important you have to do. If you have one of the festive bags, you need to reach in and put on your chef's hat. Okay, do it. Grab your chef's hat, put it on. It's like Frosty the Snowman. The magic is in the hat. I don't have to put it on because my head's too big and I'm not cooking. But we're gonna get stir crazy. If you didn't get a festive bag and you don't have a hat, it's okay. You're with us in spirit. We are in the webinar format. This is the way of the future, isn't it? And it's great. You're gonna see everything you need to see on your screen tonight. You can't see everyone else who's here. They can't see you, but we can see you. Oh yeah, we can see you. I'm just kidding. We can't see you. Your video's off, your audio's off, you're having fun, but we wanna know you're there and we wanna know where you are. So make sure you use that chat box function on your screen. It's on the Zoom meeting. If you have any questions for our chefs tonight, you have any questions at all, maybe you wanna make a donation, use the chat box. We've got people monitoring that. And also share your experience because we wanna see what you're cooking. If you're using social media tonight, please use the hashtag #SeasonsEatings. Okay, I have to get my mask in place. It's a little slippery. Okay, silent auction. This is a big part of tonight. We want to thank Carrington Dental and supporting community members. We've got a lot of cooking to do. We're going to enjoy some wine tasting and a few surprises along the way. But before we get started, I want to invite the president of Okanagan College, Jim Hamilton, to do a formal land recognition. Hi, Jim.
Hello, hello, hello. And welcome to everybody out there who's taking part in this event. I want to start the evening off by respectfully acknowledging that we're gathered tonight on the unceded traditional lands of the Indigenous people who have inhabited and used these lands since time immemorial. And we offer to them our sincere respects. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And we're going to be talking to Jim a lot tonight. But right now we have a message from our title sponsor, Coldwell Banker, Jane Hoffman Realty.
We're thrilled to be presenting this event with Okanagan College Foundation, bringing our community together during a pandemic to enjoy the simple pleasures of cooking. And in doing so, we are supporting the education of healthcare professionals. That is the perfect pairing.
Thank you very much, Jane. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this night, shall we? I'd like to introduce you to your chef for the evening. Say hello to Chef Brian Alexander, Okanagan College. Hi, Brian.
Hi, good evening. Welcome, everyone.
You're guiding us through tonight.
Absolutely.
But you're not doing it alone. Who are you doing it with?
We're doing it with our students. These students are in the class that I'm teaching right now. This is Tony, Garfield, and Arlene. And they're the chefs tonight. We're here to watch how they're going to prepare the food. And we're here to just sort of talk about what they're going to do, but they're the professionals.
All right, so Chef Brian's here in an advisory capacity. And,
that's right.
I mean, that's what you do around here. Tell us
Absolutely.
a little bit about the culinary arts program.
Fantastic. I was actually a student here at one time as well. We won't say how long ago, but it was a student. And it's a great program going through all the basic to advanced guidelines of how to prepare food, how to work in the industry, and how to understand the industry itself. And these students are only a few weeks from graduating.
Wow.
So they've been with us for a full year, and they also work in the industry, and it's just a really fantastic program.
So just before Brian guides everyone through their meals tonight at home, tell us, is Brian a good teacher? Yeah, okay. Good answer.
Why did I start sweating?
Good answer. No, I just want to say I've been in Kelowna for a long time, and your lunches at Okanagan College, I know they're not happening right now.
That's right.
But they have quite a reputation.
Absolutely. A lot of people, and especially now that we're not doing it, are really missing it. We've had a lot of good feedback over the years in our restaurant, and hopefully it's coming back soon, but very, very excited people. And it's always a busy program here.
Okay, we will look forward to that. All right, let's get to our apprentice chefs. They were supposed to be our apprentice chefs tonight. Please say hello again to Jim Hamilton, president of Okanagan College, and Helen Jackman. She's the executive director of the Okanagan College Foundation. And should we just tell everybody what happened? They were supposed to be cooking, but so many of you wanted to take part. They sold the last 2 bags. The last 2 bags of food went out, the festive bags. So
we'll taste wine instead.
Yeah, they're not too upset about it. We are here cooking tonight, but Helen, obviously we are here fundraising, raising funds for healthcare education. Why is this campaign so important to our community?
Yeah, so I think everyone attending in your homes tonight and everyone here at some point will come to rely on frontline healthcare professionals. And I think during the pandemic, it's really highlighted just how important and how special those people are. I lost my grandfather on the 11th of April this year. Still really sad.
Yeah.
And we've been really fortunate because we just celebrated his 100th birthday, which was an amazing landmark. He was in a long-term care home. And so the 11th of April, that was 3 weeks into the first phase of the lockdown. And what was so hard for him is that his daughter, Sue, wasn't able to visit him as she had done for like the previous 7 years. And so it was really heartbreaking to see that happen to them. But there was a lady called Chris, who was the clinical lead in the care home. And she did something remarkable. She arranged for my grandfather to come downstairs, and we have a really beautiful, poignant photograph of them together. He's on the phone to her, and they're touching hands across the glass. It's just a really special thing that we will treasure as a family, and the care and compassion of the people in the care home to have done that for him was just lovely. And I think that's why this campaign is important, because this new Health Sciences Centre will train the people that will be working on the front lines in our community for generations to come. And yeah, it's something that is so important to all of us. So tonight we have a goal of raising $250,000. And this is going to help us achieve our goal to raise $5 million to open the new Health Sciences Centre in the new year.
All
so
right.
Thank you all so much for being here and listening to my little story.
Well, Helen, you shared that story, but you know what? Throughout the community, all of us at some point are going to be touched by healthcare and a healthcare worker. Yeah. I want to bring Jim back in now. Jim, there's a lot to be proud of here, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. And Helen's, I think, hitting the nail on the head in terms of the value of the training that takes place in our facility. The old one we have now, it's going to be even better. Mm-hmm. The new facility will finally have a facility of the same quality as the instruction the students receive. So I don't know if everybody knows, but we have, I think, 8 diploma programs ranging through nursing and dental, human service worker, pharmacy technicians. We've got healthcare assistants, and the list goes on and on. And these are all people, and we've graduated thousands of them over the years, last 55 years. We've been doing this for 55 years. And they are in the community. I would hazard a guess there's probably nobody online tonight that has not, either personally or through their family, had experience with one of our graduates doing what they do for the community. We're very, very proud of them and the faculty and staff who make those things possible. So, great campaign, great new building, and setting new standards in terms of sustainability, a trademark of ours at Okanagan College. It's also got a very significant influence and First Nations component, which we're also very proud of. So I guess I would say that if people are wondering why they're here tonight, other than to have food and wine and good times, Helen and I may not get any food, but we're here. So it's just going to be wine. So this could get really interesting towards the end of it. We're here tonight because we want to make sure that we're able to provide the next generation of our healthcare workers, social work folks, farm techs, and so on, with that first-rate education that they so richly deserve, and that we need so much, particularly in this time of COVID.
Okay, thank you, Jim. And it is a first-class facility. If you're able to take a tour at some point down the road, really it is amazing. We're fortunate to have it in our community. Okay, chefs, we're going to get started on our potato pave dish in a moment, but first, we've got a word from one of our graduates and a family that she supports.
Nursing is a fantastic job because you get to deal with everyone and help them through their hard time and bring them to their best part of their life. You get to go home every day knowing you've helped someone, you've changed their life. I think it's important to invest in the Health Sciences Center because this is the starting point for healthcare. Everyone in the Okanagan goes to the hospital at some point, and it all starts back here with the students learning their skills so that they can look after you and your loved ones.
My father started into the Alzheimer's journey when he was in his late 70s, and it was time to put him into care, which was one of the more difficult things I've ever had to do in my life. And what made it bearable was the compassion and care of the people who attended to him. And having people in that industry that care so much makes a huge difference.
All right, what a great opportunity to support the people that will very likely support you or someone you love at some point in your life. Remember, you can donate tonight all the way through the night. We're going to be putting the link to the silent auction in the chat box, so keep an eye on that. And now, cooking? Are you guys ready?
Yeah, let's get cooking.
Okay, we got to get those spuds in the oven.
Okay, but before we get the spuds in the oven, the first thing we need to do is get everybody to turn their ovens on. Okay, so all of you out there, please turn your ovens on. And if you have a regular oven, I'd say 350 degrees. And if you have an oven that has convection, 325 degrees, okay? Just if you have different types of ovens. What we're going to do is we're going to get started with our potato pave dish. And Arlene's going to get started by peeling the potatoes. And then we're going to get started by slowly slicing them very thin. Now, this particular dish is a French dish, but everybody knows this dish because it's scalloped potatoes.
Oh.
Okay, so we all know the word scalloped potatoes. So this is a more fancy version of scalloped potatoes, and it's known as pave. And pave is a word meaning cobblestone or paved stone.
Okay.
So this dish would be presented in a way that would sort of look like that afterwards. You could cut them into different shapes and stuff like that. And we're going to show you that a little later on. So what she's going to be doing is just peeling the potatoes, making sure that there's no eyes. You don't want edges or anything on your potato because that could discolor when it cooks.
Because it's tacky.
Well, it also would turn some of your potato a darker color, which doesn't necessarily look appealing. After the potatoes are peeled, we're going to slice them really thin. The thinner you can slice them, the better. It's very important.
So if someone has, like, would a mandolin be the best?
A mandolin would be the best.
Like Garfield?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, not everybody will have that type of equipment, so we're going to use our knives today, and it's good for knife skills for them, for their learning.
Yes.
But ultimately, if you had a mandolin, that would save you a lot of time and effort. And if you have a guard, just be careful using your mandolin that you're not going to hurt yourself in any way. And then what we're going to do is we have some parchment paper. We have an insert here. This is similar to what you would say is like a bun pan or something to cook a loaf of bread in or something like that.
I call it a meatloaf pan.
Yeah, a meatloaf pan, absolutely. Anything that is sort of that shape would be perfect for the amount of food we're preparing here. How's it going? How you doing there, Tim?
That rosemary smells amazing.
Yeah, very good.
All right, while you're chopping there, we're just going to take a break because we have a donation. Is that right, Helen? Going to come on in? Yes.
We have someone, I think, who wants to come onto the webcam, maybe?
Do we have a video donation?
Oh, we do. Here he is.
Hello, folks. Mark Zebarth, professor in the School of Business. Delighted to be participating tonight, and I thought you might like a special dish we created just for tonight. It's made of checks, and there's a $500 donation to the college for tonight's program.
Is that Mark?
Mark.
That is Mark. Mark's in his kitchen cooking and writing checks.
So that was Mark Zebarth, who's just pulled an amazing check out of his crock pot, I think that was. $500. What a way to get started. Thank you, Mark.
What a great
You're
start.
amazing. Thank you.
What a great
You're
start.
welcome.
Okay, I have one question if somebody's using convection at home.
Okay.
What is the difference between convection bake and convection roast?
Not really anything, actually.
Okay.
Baking and roasting are just terms we use for the same cooking methods. Like we bake a salmon, we don't roast a salmon, but we roast a piece of beef, we don't bake a piece of beef.
Right.
But ultimately, it's the same thing. It's dry heat cooking.
Okay.
And there's really no difference. It's just based on how high the temperature is or how low the temperature is.
Okay.
Okay. So generally, roasting would be slower and long periods of time, and baking would be shorter periods of time at a higher heat. But really, they're the same cooking.
Okay. So for this, bake is best.
We're baking, yeah.
All
We're
right,
baking.
honey, at home, I told you convection roast. Scratch that. Listen to the professional. Convection bake.
Convection bake, yeah. Now, the oven we're using is a little high tech, but we've just got it on a standard heat, 325 degrees, because it's running out of convection.
Okay. All right. So the potatoes are being chopped.
Look at how
and-
thin those were. Great job, Garfield. That looks really good.
So just layering them in.
That's right. Now, the amount of rosemary I gave everybody might not necessarily be all that you want to use. Okay, so if you don't want to use as much as you were given tonight, then, or if you want to use it at all, it's up to you based on how much you like that flavor.
Okay.
Okay.
You can garnish because that's.
And you can
beautiful.
save a little bit for garnish on top. The one thing that's very important is potatoes don't really have a lot of flavor, so seasoning is huge.
Ooh.
Okay, you want to make sure that you season very well, and that's only going to help in the cooking process for the end result for how it's going to taste, the flavor. So salt and pepper are very, very important with potato dishes. Very good job. That looks really
So
good.
how many potatoes are people using in this dish out there tonight?
Well, I gave everyone 2 pounds, and if they're small potatoes, that's about 4 or 5, and these ones are quite large, so they're 2 potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and that's about the smallest you could make this dish, unless you did it in like a little muffin pan or something, like a muffin tin or something. But realistically, this is the smallest that this dish can be to cook properly. And for those out there tonight that are cooking for themselves and just one person, you have a full recipe of the potato again, and it's because of the fact that it's very hard to make this dish very small.
Well, how great is it to have? Maybe you want to use it for
Leftovers
the
are
holidays.
fantastic.
But I just saw cream and butter go in there, so let's talk about that.
Well, they're my favorite foods, as well as chocolate, and we're going to get into that later on.
Mhm.
But cream and butter are creating the richness and also the liquid that creates the cook down.
Okay. All right. People are
Okay.
still cutting. They're not
People are still
professionals
cooking.
at home.
cutting.
Yeah, we have to remember that we can go a little bit quick, and we're going to try and slow it down a little bit to sort of help you go along with the dish a little bit more.
So basically you're layering, maybe is it a third and a third and a third, or how would you tell people to do it?
Well, I would say from the amount of potato, you should probably get 4 layers. You could get up to 4 layers,
Okay.
depending on how thick or thin you slice. But the thicker you slice them, the cook. So when they're really thin like this, they'll take about an hour and 15 minutes to cook this dish.
Okay.
It'll take about an hour and 15 minutes. And if they're cut a little too thick, it might take an hour and a half, depending on that. So
just keep layering.
just
divide
keep
into
layering,
quarters.
and it's really nice that you layer it quite uniform, evenly, and that's also going to create even cooking throughout the dish, so that you don't have parts of the dish that are uncooked and parts of the dish that are cooked. So the more even you can lay out your potato along the dish, the better.
Okay.
Okay, and you see how they're brushing with butter? Just added fat, and of course, fat is flavor.
Of course.
Fat is flavor. And then finish, and then a good, generous portion
Okay, so
of
this is when you
salt.
put all the potatoes in. This is the end. So once you've got all your potatoes in, you finish with all the cream.
How many layers did you get, Tony?
2 layers.
2 layers. 3
Two
layers.
single layer for one, 2 layer and total is 2 layer.
Okay, good.
So you're saving the last of your cream for the top.
That's right. And then a little bit of salt and pepper on top to finish. And then if you wanted to, a little bit of rosemary, just like that. Now, if you can, have a little bit of piece of parchment paper on the very top, okay?
Why?
Sometimes if tin foil, like we're going to tin foil this dish, and if the tin foil is making contact with the food, tin foil can actually break down in the oven and actually food, and actually pieces of tin foil will come off into your food. So by using that it sort of protects it. Now, what Tony's doing is taking another insert of a similar size, and he's giving a little push down to sort of even it out so everything is a little more flat. Okay? He's giving it a little bit of pressure. That should be good. I think that's good. And that's going to ensure that everything in this insert is quite compact. And again, it sort of represents the name of the dish, paved stone. So having it pressed down is something this dish requires. Classically, you would also press it down after it's baked, and some chefs press it for as long as 24 hours.
Wow.
So it gets really compressed, and then you can make really nice cuts and shapes and use your cookie cutters and stuff and have really nice designs to make your plate look very nice when you're ready to present everything.
I feel like I sense this is going to get a little fancy later on.
Yeah.
Okay, so just for people who are still chopping, because we know that
Yeah.
they are, is this something that could be adapted? Like, could you use other vegetables in there as well, like zucchini?
Absolutely.
Or,
You can use zucchini, sweet potato. Yams are fantastic.
Yeah.
And even if you wanted to do a combination of vegetables where you would do all sliced root vegetables, you know,
Yeah.
and you don't even have to use whipping cream if you don't want to. You can substitute and just use butter because that's not horrible. But
whipping cream
for
is
those who
better.
don't necessarily have dairy that agrees with them, or they don't want it in their food, you don't have to have dairy. You can just add a little bit more butter or some oil.
Yeah.
Olive oil would work really well as well. Okay, so what'll happen is after this comes out of the oven, we're going to press it again, and then that'll just sort of get the loose pave into more compressed, so it's easier to cut.
Okay.
Much easier to cut.
All right, let's see it go in the oven, Tony.
Okay. Stand out of his way. Now, an hour and 15 minutes, those will come out.
So to test it,
Yeah.
is it okay, like to stick a knife in?
What you can do is take a paring knife and you would just stab it. And if the knife goes in and out very easily without any effort, they're done. Okay? If you find it's sticking or it's grabbing something, your potato is underdone. And that's a really good way of testing it. Just take the tip of your paring knife and just try to poke it through.
All right. Okay. So if you're not quite done chopping and assembling your potato pave, that's okay.
Oh,
See how
absolutely.
it's done. You just want to get it in the oven as soon as possible. We're kind of working in a different order because things take
That's right.
longer.
So when you want your dish to all come together at once, you might not necessarily think, well, why would I start my potato before my turkey? But actually, they're going to take about the same amount of time. And we want to make sure that after the turkey is cooked, we're resting it. So by the time all of it's done all together.
So think about this. If you're doing a Zoom family Christmas, okay, you've had the professional instruction tonight, you can teach your whole family wherever
right.
they are because you have your Seasons Eatings festive recipe book from TD. So thanks to TD for that. But
Yeah.
great how you put these all together. And you put a couple of extra things in there as well. Mulled wine,
Yes.
right? So get
Brian,
that going.
chef, we have a question.
Okay.
Question about how to thicken the cream.
How to what, pardon me?
Thicken the cream.
Thicken the cream?
Mhm.
The cream will thicken naturally from the potato starch baking. Okay, so the potatoes have a natural starch in them, and what will happen is that starch will mix with and then that starch will come out, and the cream will thicken, and then separate and cook into the potato.
The recipe called for thickened cream. So for people who didn't get the
So
festive bag,
thickened cream is
We bought
another,
whipping
yeah,
cream,
it's
yeah.
whipping cream.
Okay.
And that's what that is. Thickened cream is whipping cream. That is any whipping cream that's 33% heavy fat or 36%. Those are the two types that you can buy in your regular grocery store.
okay, it's the highest?
This is 36%. So nice and rich because, well, first of all, fat is flavor.
That is flavor.
But-
Remember that this season.
Yeah, fat is flavor. And for this dish and with these types of potatoes, it works well together.
Okay.
So we're using russet potatoes.
Okay, so we've got the potatoes in the oven. Maybe you don't, but hopefully you're working in a team in your kitchen because I think we're ready to start. The turkey breast stuffed with cranberry
Before we do.
and brie. Oh, we have we
Yeah.
have something exciting happening,
Yes,
Helen?
we just had an amazing donation come in from Shannon and Clayton Gall. They have pledged $10,000
Wow.
Recognizing the importance of the Health Sciences Centre. I know that they have some, this means a lot to them because of some of their own personal circumstances. So a huge thank you to Clayton and Shannon. That's just amazing.
That is amazing. A $10,000 donation tonight. So great. Our goal, $250,000 tonight. So let's keep them coming in. All right, so let's keep rolling in the kitchen. The money's coming in and the turkey breasts are coming out. Obviously, you had the holidays in mind when you created this menu, Chef Brian.
Yes, I did. I didn't want to go quite traditional, but I wanted to still have a traditional flair and a theme to go along with it. All these are using tonight are quite common in Christmas cooking, but just so not necessarily usual that you would put brie inside a turkey. But the combination with the cranberries, the mustard, the garlic, the onion, and parsley is fantastic.
Because repeat after us again, fat
is flavor. Fat is flavor.
Okay, so if somebody, let's say, has a vegetarian in their family, as they're getting,
I would recommend mushroom for this dish. Like a portobello mushroom is very hearty, and this stuffing can actually go in the inside shell of a portobello mushroom, and it can be baked just like that.
Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with also even stuffing vegetables. So you could take a whole zucchini and tunnel it out and put some of that stuffing in there and bake a whole zucchini if you want to. So lots of different alternatives to just using turkey or even chicken and things like that.
Okay.
So what are we going to do, Tony?
For the chicken, the turkey breast, we will open a pocket right here. So create a nice pocket so we can put the filling. Sure, we need to mix all the filling together. After we fill all the filling, we will tie it up nicely, like this way.
That's right. So just open it up again so they can see the whole breast. Now, everyone will see that you have a turkey breast like this, and you're going to have a thicker part and a thinner part, okay? And what Tony is going to do is make an incision with his knife right along the middle towards the thick part. He's going to make a pocket, okay? And that pocket is where all the stuffing is going to sit. And he's going to flip it over so it's covered, and then we're going to tie it up. And then it's all going to be protected, and it won't come out when it's baking in the oven.
Okay, just so people are getting this all organized.
Yeah.
So I've seen things where like they're rolled up, so you know you beat it. Why stuff and not say? I don't want to say that word again.
Well, the reason we're doing it this way is so that when, and you'll know this when you're slicing it, when you see us slicing it when it's done, it really looks nice with the stuffing there and the nice center part of the turkey breast.
Okay.
And for presentation wise. Now you could butterfly this out, you could make cuts and you can fold it open like that. And you could put the stuffing in a different way and tie it in a different way. We're just creating a way that makes it the easiest. I think this is the easiest overall, making a pocket and then being able to put all your stuff in that pocket, just so it's not overly complicated. And we've given the string already pre-cut to make it a lot easier too, because the way you see food in the grocery store, I wouldn't want to make it so that you'd have to learn how to tie a roast.
Right,
So
okay.
we're just going to do it that way, and it's just much easier.
Okay, and so for people who bought the supplies tonight, their turkey breasts, I'm guessing, are a lot smaller.
Well, this is about average just to buy a turkey breast in a grocery store, anywhere between. So yeah, when you go to your supermarket and you see just turkey breast, it'll be between 1.2 to 1.7 kilograms for a whole turkey breast. Because the breakdown is around 13 kilos. So this is just one of the breasts from that. So this is a standard size turkey breast.
But you could use chicken.
Absolutely, you could use chicken. We have one guest tonight that is using chicken. And just look at it in a smaller scale, a much smaller scale, but it is the same piece of meat. So you would just make a smaller incision and you would put your stuffing inside that, and it's just the same thing, okay?
Okay.
And if you have skin on your chicken, the skin would protect it from, and then you would tie that. So.
Okay.
All right, let's see what you do.
Stuff it.
Okay, so Arlene and Garfield are going to make the stuffing. Tony is going to go and make the incision in the turkey. All
like
right.
Surgery here. Okay.
It kind of is. Oh, there you go. All right, I'm excited to see this. Go for it, Gar.
Let's see, Tony.
Let's see it, Tony. How's he doing? Is he doing well?
There's the pocket.
Slowly.
The
So
one
be
thing,
careful, don't cut through the skin behind.
What if somebody accidentally does?
Oh,
It's the end of the world.
no. If you're very lucky, you only cut through the meat, not the skin. The skin still can protect the filling. But if you cut through the skin, sure the filling will come out, but not very much because the filling will coat and it will form a layer to protect the other fillings from coming out.
So not the end of the world then.
it is not the end of
Okay.
the world. You will have some of the stuffing falling out.
But it'll still taste good.
And it's very common that the stuffing will come out of your turkey. So when you pull the turkey out of your oven later and you see that some of the stuffing has oozed out, that's not the end of the world.
Okay.
Okay, it's not the end of the world. It could be the way we tied it up, or if you did cut into the turkey a little improperly or too far.
All right,
Now-
so we're slicing the brie over there, chopping the herbs and the garlic.
Now, when you're chopping up your herbs, you can just do a rough chop. You don't have to make it fine, like a fine chop. But I would recommend with the garlic that you chop the garlic quite fine, okay? Because
Okay.
if you get a nice piece, a chunk of garlic when you're eating that,
You better hope everyone else does.
well,
too.
yeah, so everyone's gonna have lovely garlic
Breath.
breath, yeah. So, and brie is quite sticky. You'll notice that as Garfield is cutting it up, it's quite sticky. Don't worry about that. Just chop it the best you can. He's doing what's called medium dice, if you're being technical, but he's just chopping it probably about the size of a dime.
Okay.
And then the breadcrumbs, the cranberry sauce, the grainy Dijon mustard, the chive onion. Good job.
So chefs, you guys are so professional. I think people are struggling a little bit to keep up with you. So I don't know whether you can slow down a little bit. I know we need to get the turkey into the oven, but
Oh yeah,
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 So
chop.
they're still
Yeah.
chopping away.
chop away.
Like I said, hopefully you have a team effort going.
Well, I was going to
Yeah.
say not.
I would go a certain speed with us, but
And
we'll
again,
definitely,
you do
yeah.
have your festive recipe book. So everything is in here step by step, but it is fun to follow along. Okay, so we're
So
just,
while you're doing that, I just wanted to tell you, we just got another big donation in the chat box.
I feel like we need a bell.
I know we
Okay.
did. We definitely need some sort of sound effect to do this because the gifts are just amazing tonight. So Kelly Rockrum,
Oh, Kelly.
you know Kelly.
I do
you
know
know
Kelly.
Kelly?
Hi, Kelly.
So she just made an $8,000 donation.
That's amazing.
She's a registered nurse in Kelowna. And so, yeah, we're so grateful. That is just an amazing gift.
You really see
Yeah.
people who work in healthcare and who have a history with
Yes.
healthcare step up like this. And especially the people perhaps who have toured the facility. And it's a very exciting place.
It is a beautiful space. And if anybody wants to come and take a look, we're really happy to tour people. We can do it all socially distanced now. We can take you around and show it, but it's a beautiful space. And I think the pride that the students that study there are going to have, just because we've got this state-of-the-art facility in Kelowna, we're so lucky.
What struck me was that when you go in there, it's actually like being in a hospital ward or being in a dental office. You've made it very real life.
Yeah, so it's intended to simulate all of the circumstances that those frontline healthcare workers are going to find when they're working out in the real world. And so they're going to go into their practice so well prepared. And it's going to serve the whole of the southern interior with those frontline healthcare professionals. So yeah, such an important facility for our community.
And I mean, we know the quality and the caliber of students coming out. And you told me a really interesting fact about students where they graduate, they tend to stay.
Yeah, totally. So we'll be able to attract a talent into our community, and then they will stay in the Okanagan all the way up and down the valley. But what a beautiful place to live. And once they come here, they will stay.
So ultimately, when you're supporting the Okanagan College Foundation and the Health Sciences Center, you're actually supporting your community and your family one day down the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's check in on these guys. Stuffing is made.
Well, the stuffing, everything is in the bowl. They haven't mixed it up yet, but we just wanted to show you what it looks like in the bowl. So all your ingredients are there. And now what we're going to do is we're going to mix it all together.
So go over one more time what's in that bowl.
We have our cranberries, we have our brie, we have the grainy mustard, we have garlic, parsley, chive, and breadcrumb. Now, breadcrumb is important because obviously cranberries are quite, there's quite a lot of moisture in there.
Okay.
Okay, and without breadcrumb, it wouldn't stay as a stuffing inside the turkey. So the breadcrumb acts to sort of dry it out a little bit and sort of keep it more like a binder. Keeping it dry, okay?
So if somebody is gluten-free, avoiding gluten, does it matter if you're using a gluten-free breadcrumb?
What I would suggest to avoid gluten is to use whole cranberries or just the actual fruit, dried cranberries.
Okay.
And that way you would cut down on the moisture inside the turkey, and then you wouldn't have to use breadcrumb at all.
Okay. All right, let's mix it up. That's satisfying.
A little bit of salt and pepper. Just want to make sure that you're seasoning. That looks good.
And while they're doing that, just before we actually get to stuffing, I know Helen's over at the big board with an update. I've always wanted to say that. Helen, do we have an update on our total?
So far, we've taken into account all the...
Come on over here. You don't have to
Come
stand
over
at the
here.
big board. Come over
Okay,
here.
so we've taken into account all the ticket sales and the amazing sponsorship that we got from all of our amazing sponsors. And with the donations that we've had so far tonight, we've raised already $60,799, which is amazing. Woo!
That is
We
amazing.
definitely need a bell.
Or we need a toast.
We need a little.
We need a toast.
We could just do this. You know, the tinkling of the. Nobody's kissing. Okay. Cheers to $60,799. Oh, and we're just getting started.
I'm going to pretend.
Cheers. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Are we ready to stuff this breast?
Yeah, but I'd like Jim to come over here and give us a hand a little bit. Okay. I'd like Tony,
Yeah, Jim.
Tony, I'd like you, Tony, to sort of give Jim a little bit of a cooking lesson here on how to stuff and tie this turkey.
Yes.
Jim, you need some gloves?
Yes, I need some gloves. I got them right here. There's one go on one hand and one on the other. Left and right.
Yeah.
You can see I'm experienced.
Well, yeah. I'm just hoping they fit you.
I was gonna say this might be a problem. But no, I think we're good.
Oh, that's good. There we go.
There we go.
They'll fit. I may never get them off, but they'll fit. Okay, so what do we have to do?
Basically, you need to fill the filling into the pocket.
Oh, okay.
So usually this filling is for some of you get a very big chicken breast, some of you get 2 chicken breasts. So the filling is for 2.
Okay.
So this is a smaller one, so you just only need to fill half of it.
You might not get it all in the turkey.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
don't
so
worry
you don't
about
have
it.
to worry.
You're not having to overstuff the bird if you don't have to. Because yeah, it's not perfect that every turkey breast is the same size.
Okay, so get.
Jim, do not overstuff your bird.
This from my former cooking companion. I had to teach her a few things last time we were here, but I said that was because she was an English background and everybody knows about English cooks. But she did very well.
They do. What do we know about English cooks, Jim?
Is enough? Okay, apparently I've got enough in there now. Ellen.
So you try to roll
Uh-oh.
this way, so the filling will be in the middle.
Okay, good job.
So this way, yep, you can
You
try.
Oh, now you're gonna do.
I thought you were well, and now I got to get a bit of an angle on this thing. See, Helen, you do like this?
Yes.
Yeah. And
Squeeze.
work this way. And how am I doing, Chef?
Good.
Very nice.
Professional.
Very nice. So move.
Yeah, I think you should finish the whole class.
Probably not a good idea.
All right, now we wrap.
So he's got some rope there to.
He's probably better at it. You have two types. You have two types of rope. This is a shorter one. This is a longer one. So we will use the short one first. Place it under the chicken. Go through it, just like 1/4 of the chicken, and try to make a roll.
Basically, you're just rolling it into a burrito shape,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're tying it up. You don't want to over cinch the rope too much. Like you're not trying to cut off its circulation at all.
No,
you
you
know.
don't want to wear it like a belt at
No.
your turkey dinner.
Yeah.
Kind of like a double reef knot on the bottom. Is that
Well, we don't want it to come loose at all any time in the cooking process, because we're going to cut the rope down to a much shorter size on the end, so they're not baking in the oven with the turkey. We gave everyone 4 short pieces of string, and by the way, this is called butcher's twine. We gave everyone 4 short pieces to go along the turkey, and then 1 long piece to go the lengthwise all the way around, keep it all intact. That looks really good. That looks very good. This can be the hard part, okay? The reason why we're doing one also in a lengthwise, not just around, is keeping, the way he's doing this, he's going to keep the string in a straight line, and then when the turkey is baking, it won't curl or it won't de-shape itself in the baking process. Sometimes if we're using string in our cooking, it can pull the meat in different directions, and then it doesn't have that perfect shape anymore. So he's trying to create a situation that keeps that perfect shape.
This is quite an important step, actually.
Yes, it is. This is everybody's first attempt, and it might not be as perfect everyone's first attempt.
So just do the best you
Just
can.
do
out
the
there.
best you can, and it'll be enjoyable regardless.
And if it's funny, take a picture, post it on social media with hashtag.
I think that would be
Seasons Eatings, 'cause
great.
We'd like to see it. Hopefully you're having fun out there and you guys are doing something right here because you're inspiring more donations. We just got another donation, everyone. Our magical bell. We want to say thanks to Janice Caban, $10,000. $10,000, another donation. That's right, Helen. All right, that takes our total up by another $10,000 tonight. It's amazing. Keep those donations coming in, and don't forget again about our silent auction page. That silent auction will be open until 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. In the meantime, how is your chicken wrapping going?
So we're just removing the rest of the excess string, and then we're going to put it onto a baking pan or a roasting pan. And then we are going to season it and give it a bit of oil just to sort of help it along in the cooking. And what that oil will do is create an outside barrier. It'll turn into slight crust with the salt and pepper, and that'll hold all the juices inside, so it stays nice and juicy. Because we've all had dry turkey.
Mm-hmm.
We've all had dry turkey, and breast meat is very easy to overcook and become dry. So having that little bit of fat on the outside will definitely help seal in the juices.
And add some
Flavor, because fat is flavor. For avid chefs out there or avid cooks, you can brine your turkey. And brining it.
I have heard about this.
Yeah.
Okay, explain that.
Okay, so brining is where you infuse or you cure. It's like curing, where you add salt and sugar in a water solution and you soak it for a period of time, a day, 2 days, 3 days, depending on what you're using it for. And what that'll do is it'll create a more plump turkey breast. It'll pull in some of that salt into the meat. It'll swell up a little bit. No matter how long you cook that, and if you overcook it, it'll prevent it from getting dry.
Okay, there's a tip. Okay.
Yeah, it'll prevent it from being dry.
So where's the best place to do that? Like you obviously need cold water to keep it cold.
Well, yeah. So you just take a regular, like for something like this, a regular 5-quart pot. Maybe you do 2 liters of water, a quarter of a cup of salt, and a quarter cup of sugar. Bring it to a boil.
Okay.
And then the rest after it comes to a boil, the rest you would want to make cold water. So altogether you have 4 liters. And then that would soak for about 2 days in your refrigerator.
So Chef, I have a quick question. So I think in the recipe book, it says to brown the turkey before we put it in the oven. Are you guys doing that tonight, or are you
We
going to
aren't
pop
going
it
to do that
straight in?
tonight. We're going to pop it straight in the oven.
But that's
now,
an
if you
option?
wanted to, you could put it in a cast iron pan or in a frying pan, and you could just brown it off lightly just to sort of seal in the outside. And what that'll do is it'll just create a nice browning effect if your oven isn't browning properly. Things like that. Okay?
Okay, so this is going in same temperature?
This is going in the same temperature. We've made this a little universal for tonight. All the dishes can be cooked under 1 temperature.
We thank you for that.
That way we're not adjusting.
All right, so keep working on your turkey breasts if they're not ready yet. They will go in that oven for how long is this going to take?
This one will take about 1 hour and 15 to 1 hour and a half. What you want to make sure is if you do have a thermometer in your home, you would want to bring it to the temperature of 160 degrees.
Okay.
Okay, that's fully cooked and making sure that there's no chance anybody can get sick.
Or you're like my dad, and every piece of meat always had a big cut into it before it got to the plate.
That's right, just to double check that it was. And if you wanted to do that, when it comes out of the oven, first of all, you want to rest it. You don't want to serve it the right way when it comes out of the oven. You want to let it sit for about 15 minutes so the juices inside can continuously redisperse themselves, but also that the meat can relax a little bit. It's been in an oven, it's sort of, it's a little tight and it's a little overly hot on the outside. So by resting it, everything sort of comes back to a nice relaxed state. The juices are all in there, and then you can cut into it. But what you'll know is if you make an incision with your knife and it comes out pink, any pink comes out in the juices, no, it's not done. Back in the oven. But the best would be to have a thermometer. That's what you would want to have.
That is the best. Okay, Chef Brian, thank you for that. We're going to get to our goat cheese stuffed dates appetizer in a moment. But if you're not done working on your chicken, maybe you're not done working, or turkey, sorry, turkey, or maybe you're not done your potatoes yet. It's okay. Keep working because we have some special people to thank right now, right? Jim, do you want to start?
Okay.
Heroes, Jim.
Our heroes.
Oh, okay,
It's our
thank
heroes,
you.
Jim. Hero for
Caught up in
healthcare.
my cooking over there, I lost track where we were supposed to be. So we have some heroes for healthcare who are with us this evening, and we are just so pleased to see such tremendous support and knowing that every gift that we receive makes a big difference to our students and ultimately to our community.
Right, and you have a special story, Helen.
Yeah, so today I think we had 7 or so guests that bought the Hero for Healthcare tickets, which is just amazing. We didn't anticipate selling so many, which was just phenomenal.
Phenomenal. And just for anyone
I
who doesn't
haven't
know
had
what
any
that
wine
is,
yet.
Yeah, she hasn't. What is the Hero for Healthcare ticket? Explain
So
what that
we
is.
had a couple of special tickets that were people that spent $1,000 essentially to buy a dinner for 2, but also had the opportunity to put their name onto the donor wall in the Health Sciences Centre, which is just an amazing legacy to create. And I
You
had
can see it on the screen there right now.
we
There's
have
the
a picture
donor
of it.
wall.
So I had the opportunity today to tour one of the Heroes for Healthcare ticket holders, a gentleman called Tom Bradshaw, and he shared with me a really lovely story. So his sister actually graduated from the OUC, as it was then, is that right, Jim?
Yes.
Nursing program here in Kelowna in the 80s. And she was just such a passionate carer, such a dedicated nurse. She sadly passed away tragically earlier this year, and Tom wanted to do something in her memory. And so it was such an honor to be able to tour him and show him around the new center. And yeah, so thank you, Tom. And yeah, just such a lovely legacy gift. But thank you to all of the people that have got involved tonight. And all the rest of the ticket holders. Every dollar really does help us tonight.
Absolutely. Every donation, it all adds up.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think
Do we have another one?
Stewart had just made a $500 donation,
Very nice.
which is incredible. Thank you, Heather, great friend of the college. Oh, and maybe one more.
Got one more coming in. Stand by.
This is an amazing amount of support. We're so grateful.
I think people are appreciating the little bit of extra time
Yeah, and
to
then you
get their
can all
turkey
catch
breast
up.
done.
I hope people have started to drink the wine as well.
But just so you know, this is the most onerous part of the night in the kitchen, right? It's going to get much easier from here, and we've got some surprises coming up. So stick around. Don't give up. It's worth it. All right, let's go back into the kitchen for the moment. We'll get to that latest donation, but we have got an appetizer to make, and this one excites me. This one sounds quite exotic, Chef Brian.
It's a very simple but very delicious dish.
Got a little wow factor, right?
It does have a wow factor. Dates are very nice and sweet, natural sweet, and they've got a lot of really good play with goat cheese and prosciutto. So we've got a lot of different flavors sort of joining together here that create this amazing flavor in the end. So nice salty prosciutto, nice creamy, earthy goat cheese, and really sugary dates.
Nice.
So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the dates, we're going to slice them, and we're going to remove the pit.
Okay, let's see how we do that without
Yeah,
our fingers.
let's do that. Yeah, let's try not to do that. But for those who haven't used dates or even tried them before, inside is a seed, and you want to remove that seed because first of all, it's inedible, and
and we don't. Well, we
and you
are
don't want to
training
bite down on
We
it.
are training dental assistants
yeah,
here at the
exactly.
college, but we don't really want to use them
That's
tonight.
right.
Okay.
And that's going to create the space we need inside the dates to put our goat cheese. Now Garfield's he's going a little quick, but we can slow it down a little bit to make sure that you can see. So have a look there. You can see that he's filled in his date, and then just show one that hasn't had anything in it. Just see how much space we have to work with. It's quite a large piece of fruit, and it'll hold quite a lot of cheese. And we're using goat cheese tonight. That doesn't mean that that's the cheese you have to use in this dish. It can be the brie if you wanted to do it in brie. You could actually switch out the cheeses tonight and do them in different orders and have the goat cheese could have gone in the turkey.
Nice.
They would have worked. So the goat cheese is in the dates there. And then once all the goat cheese is in the dates, we're going to wrap them up in prosciutto with some fresh basil. So Garfield, go ahead and just keep on filling those up. Pass them over to Tony. How you doing over there, Arlene?
Exotic, and they're
doing good?
they're readily available, but they are an exotic.
They are, I mean, it was food for kings at one time. It was revered as something that only the elite would eat. But they're very common. We see them in our grocery stores.
And as my German husband, who likes to save money, noted today, they were 87 cents when he got them bulked.
They're and also a great alternative to cooking with, especially for diabetic baking. Like
Right,
that. Dates and figs and things like that. So a really good, and they're delicious on their own. Dates are fantastic and really good for you.
And is it fiber? No, I think it's fiber.
It's fiber. It's fiber and it's sugar and it's healthy sugar. Now everybody got prosciutto tonight, and some of them are big pieces. Some of them might break apart. Don't worry about the prosciutto that you have. If you notice the pieces aren't sort of perfect, what you can do is you can sort of fold it in a shape that sort of works a little bit better. So what Tony is doing is he's taking his prosciutto after he's rolled it in the basil leaves, just like that.
Little layer of flavor.
Yeah, nice flat leaf basil. That doesn't mean that you couldn't use parsley if you wanted, or sage. You can use those types of flavors as well. They would go well with this dish also. And it's one of those things that you don't specifically have to go to your grocery store and buy all these things. If you have something in the fridge or in your home that you want to use instead of, then please do. This is a very easy dish to just change a couple of ingredients.
Well, it's just a nice base, right? You have a fruit, you have a cheese, you have a herb.
That's right.
and a meat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't it the 4 food groups?
Close. Absolutely. You're so right.
Sorry, Chef Brian.
No.
I'm not trained.
Those look really,
Yeah, they're really
good.
pretty too. That's
They are really
yeah.
pretty. And they don't change shape. I mean, they will brown in the oven, but they won't shrink, or they just hold their shape very well in the oven. And they take only a few minutes to cook. So sometimes as long as 8 minutes, but you're only trying to get them warm enough so that the cheese in the center is warm and bubbly,
Okay.
warm and bubbly. So you don't want it oozing out, and you don't want to overly cook the prosciutto, because it is not like bacon. You eat it just the way it is. It's cured ham.
So not as fat, not as
No,
fatty?
yeah, high heat, it cooks very quickly,
Okay.
and it dries out very fast. It's got a lot of salt in it from the way it's cured, because most prosciuttos take between 10 to 14 months to make.
Okay.
Salt cured. So
All right. So once these are wrapped,
Yep.
what's going to happen?
we are going to put these in the oven,
Same temperature.
same temperature, and they're going to take about 8 minutes. They're
Okay.
going to take about 8 minutes to cook. So from there, I would pull them out of the oven, let them sit for a couple of minutes before that's hot, hot, hot cheese in the center. We don't want anyone burning the inside of their mouth.
Okay. Okay. So while people are wrapping these, you might be a little bit behind at home, but that's okay. You've seen what to do. Continue wrapping your dates, and it's smelling really good in here. Hopefully it's starting to smell good in your kitchen too. And you know who, I know you know this name, okay? I know you know this name, Maxine DeHart. I mean, she's everywhere. She does so many great things for this community, so well known. And she is our campaign ambassador for Our Students, Your Health campaign. So right now, we want to hear why this campaign is so important to Max and the entire community.
Nowadays, what is the most important thing? People say health. If you don't have your health, what do you have? And the Health Sciences Center is special. I can't express enough that these people coming out of that center will be helping you for the rest of your life, no matter who you are and what age you are. Well, we should all open our hearts and give what we can.
We're back in the OC kitchen, and Max, you know what? She is absolutely right. Nothing more important than our health and the health of our families. And she is out tonight in her sleigh, thanks to Kelowna Toyota. Jamie Caban, the general manager there. I heard she got a hold of Santa's nice list, and she's got a special surprise for one of our early bird ticket holders. So I don't know where you are, Max, but take it away.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Maxine DeHart, and I'm the campaign ambassador for the Health Sciences Center for the campaign. And I am with Jamie Caban, and he is with Toyota in Kelowna, and he's driving me around in this beautiful, beautiful brand new Toyota. We have this gorgeous basket, and we're going to surprise someone. It's for the ticket holders, the people that bought ticket holders beforehand, and then we drew a name, and we're going to give this beautiful basket to someone, and we're right in front of their house right now. A little slippery here. Yeah, we're just gonna go, Jamie. To do the doorbell. Hi. I'm looking for Tyra.
I'm like, I recognize that neighborhood.
Are you Tyra? Oh, it's so nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
I have
Wow.
this beautiful basket for you because you're an early bird ticket holder.
Thank you.
And I see that you have your beautiful hats on and you're
Yes.
cooking.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave this here.
Okay.
Because we want to be distant. We want it to be COVID correct
Yes.
protocols. It's great to see you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so nice.
Yeah,
We're
Tyra
enjoying
and
the
I have
night.
known each other for many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We bumped into each other in Victoria.
And
I
on a
think, when our
plane when we
flights-
couldn't get out of Victoria.
Yeah.
And this is Jamie.
Hi,
Jamie Caban's from Toyota. He's driving me around in this beautiful new Toyota.
Nice.
So I'm going to leave this and we're going to go on to the next
Okay,
surprise.
thank you so
Okay,
much.
thank
Thanks
you.
for having a lot of fun.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Off she goes. So much fun. Don't you love a good surprise? And there is more to come, as she said. All right, this might be the moment a lot of you are waiting for. We've got a guided tour coming up, a wine tasting from Quails Gate. And Jim, where are you, Jim? Come over here, Jim. I know that you love wine. Yeah, we've arranged for Max and her sleigh to come pick up Jim. You can go do the wine tasting.
Thank
So
you.
leave your hat behind,
This is
please.
the main reason I'm here this evening.
This is
I'll
it?
be cooking. It's the only thing I know anything about wine.
Yeah, we'll keep your hat.
Thank you.
All right.
I will see you all.
We'll take your microphone and off you go. Okay, have fun. We'll see you soon. All right, this tasting is presented by our event partner. It's Quails Gate Winery and our wine sponsor, Voyager RV. And don't forget, if you've got your apps done, don't forget to check on them in well, they're 10 minutes total, right, Chuck?
10 minutes total, yeah.
All right, so let's do the wine tasting and enjoy your wine.
Good evening and welcome to Quails Gate Estate Winery. We're delighted to be working with you tonight, supporting Okanagan College in the Season Eatings event. This is going to be a great opportunity to try some local foods, to test your culinary talents, and to enjoy some great wines. On behalf of our family, the stewards here at Quails Gate, we want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. We know it's a tough time out there with all the restrictions that are in place, and we want you to be healthy and safe. So to you and your families, happy holidays.
Hello and welcome to the Stewart Family Library here at Quails Gate. My name is Louise Vija. I'm the senior sommelier here, and I'm joined today with Holly Ridley from Fund Development Office, and by luck and through Santa's magic sleigh, we now have Jim Hamilton. Welcome, Jim.
Thank you.
So glad you made it. Tonight we're going to be tasting 3 wonderful Quails Gate wine that pair beautifully with the beautiful menu that the culinary team at the college has put together for you today. So we're going to actually just jump in and start right away with beautiful wines. The Quails Gate winery has been a winery for 30 years, but a lot of people don't realize that we've been growing grapes for 60 years. And this room here in the library holds 30 years of all those wonderful wines. So we have some amazing library wines that are available for us, and a long, long history and passion for what we do. So tonight we're going to start with our first wine, which is our Quails Gate Dry Riesling. This is our 2019, and Riesling is such an amazing, versatile grape. Makes a lovely wine, has a high energy with it because of its acidity, which brings moisture to your mouth. This particular one, Jim, I don't know if you want to just pick up your glass and take it to your nose. When you take, and Polly as well, when you bring it up to your nose, you should get some good aromatics of lime and a little bit of green apple. But I'm just going to ask you to put your glass down just for a moment, put your 2 fingers down on the bottom of the stem for stability, and give it a really good swirl. You probably see people doing this all the time, and you probably think they're just doing it to be cool. But the reality is, it actually raises those beautiful aromatics in the glass. So now I'm going to ask you to take it and actually move it back to your nose and take another big inhale of this lovely wine. And it's like a volume control. It's like you've just turned it on full blast. And so when you are enjoying your wines at home tonight, make sure that you take that little extra moment, put your fingers down, give it a really lovely little swirl so you can get the best of this particular wine. So these grapes that we grow this on in the vineyard are actually 30 years old. So they've got they're a little bit gnarly right now, so they're really quite interesting to look at. And they're grown on our ancient volcanic soils here at Quails Gate. So the slopes that we grow these beautiful vines on that make this wine, and actually all the wines that we're going to be tasting today are grown on these beautiful ancient soils that deliver a beautiful minerality to the actual wine. This particular wine is really going to give a beautiful feature tonight with the appy that the culinary team has put together for you. So with that appy, we are going to have some dates. Dates are kind of meaty, and they're just slightly sweet. We've got some goat cheese, which is that lovely creaminess. We have some of that beautiful prosciutto, which is going to be wrapping it. And we have that little bit of basil that just gives it that really hint and little bit of liveliness to it. So why does this all work? Well, it works because, first of all, when we think about things that are sweet and salty, which is what this appy is, wine is just a perfect match in itself. But the fact that this particular wine has that refreshing acidity, it's just going to lift all those wonderful flavors. And particularly with the prosciutto as well, where the prosciutto is a dried meat. And this is going to bring moisture to your mouth. And as you drink it, and take a sip now, please go ahead and put it onto your palate.
It is nice, and we'd invite our guests too if they want to send in a chat of what they're tasting.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
We'd
We'd love
send
to
it
hear
in the
what it
chat
is.
box.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. Yes.
I know I tasted a slight hint of the volcanic soils. You could taste just a hint of dinosaur bone.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Go back in time.
I didn't get that actually. I was thinking more of the fruits and it. But it's a personal thing.
That's right. For palates.
So can I ask questions as we go along?
Yes, please post to chat.
So,
Yes.
So what temperature would you serve this wine at?
So you would serve this one fairly cool. So you'd want it in that 7 to 10 range so that it's nice and bright. It's intended to be crisp, right? When you have things with goat cheese and things like that, you really want a crisp white wine with it. And the cooler you have, that's going to actually bring that out a little bit more. So it's totally been fermented in stainless steel already, and that's part of why it delivers such a beautiful crispness to it.
So another thing I was going to ask you too was then you've chosen these wines specifically for this menu. You got other hints for people who are looking for, okay, what kind of wine should I buy with holiday fare?
Well, yes, and holiday fare is a really interesting one to go with. So tonight I chose Riesling because it's so versatile. Another one that works very well is Gewürztraminer. So it's got a bit of floral on it, it's got a little bit of spice on it, and especially with anything like turkey or fowl, it really just gives it that little additional lift, which is really quite wonderful. The Chardonnay I picked specifically thinking of we're putting our turkey into the oven and roasting it, which works extremely well for it. But there's other reds that you can choose as well. We use Pinot Noir, but there are other light reds that you can use right now. A Beaujolais Nouveau was just released a couple of weeks ago, so it'd be something that would work exceptionally well. It's got that beautiful fruity piece to it as well. So there's different wines that you can use for different kinds of food. Roast beef is a really big alternative nowadays as well. At Christmas time for festive fare, and Merlots and Alsace and things like that are just delicious with those beautiful roasted gamey style seasonings that we're using on right now, which is really popular. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to our next wines. When choosing the next wines, I wanted to choose a white and a red that would go really well with the main course and complement. But of course, everybody likes, some people like whites, some people like reds, and I just wanted to make sure we had two wines that would actually pair quite beautifully with this beautiful meal that we have. The first one that we're going to taste is actually going to be our Chardonnay. And this time, I'm going to ask you to go through the motions that we just did with the Riesling, and I'd like you to give it a little bit of a swirl. Okay. Bring it up to your nose. Inhale those beautiful aromatics. And for those of you at home, why don't you just type into that little chat box some of those things that you're actually getting from this glass. Jim, what do you think you're getting?
Chardonnay.
Chardonnay, yes. Chardonnay. I saw Chardonnay. Y-A-Y. Well, anything that you're picking up? Yes.
Well, I'm from Saskatchewan, I'm not sure if I smell wheat in there or. Yeah.
It's a bit of grassiness.
Yes.
Yeah, something a little sweet. Yes, and that would be coming from some of the oak, of course, that would happen. Anything else? I see one of our people out there is saying that a little bit of pear maybe. Absolutely, absolutely, pear would be a really good choice. And another one would be that beautiful apple. Yes, and it's a ripe apple, so maybe a golden delicious or something like that. Really quite a nice, yes, just something really quite lovely coming through, which is very nice. So now let's sit and see if we get the same thing on the palate. So make sure that when you bring it into your mouth that you run it over the entire palate of your, and swish it around a little bit. okay if you make a noise?
Oh, it's lovely.
That's what you're supposed to do when you're actually tasting. Let some air into it. Make it really lovely. So this one, it really is quite beautiful because you're actually getting a lovely finish on it. Are you getting that finish?
Very nice.
Easy to go with. We've taken a lot of people who are anti-Chardonnay people. They've crossed that line, which is really important, and quite love this. So this has become quite a very popular wine for events and for dinners, where people are looking for something that works very well. Particularly tonight, it's going to work really well with the turkey, which is really lovely. So you think of it going into the oven and that roasting part of it. That's what the Chardonnay and that little piece that's in it that will help deliver very well for it. It will also brighten that little piece as well. And it will definitely deliver with the brie cheese on it. Actually make that brie cheese, which will always be creamy anyway, it's just going to actually give it a little bit more texture and smoother finish than even on its own. So it's truly a definitely meant to be type of pairing. So enjoy it. So red wine.
Now, is red wine, it would be remiss for me not to ask, this is a fundraiser for our new Health Sciences Center. So is red wine good for your health?
Yes, all wine is actually good for your health, but more so red wine. And it's because it has a higher level of antioxidants in it, which is really great for your regular health, and also it's good for your heart.
So a glass of wine a day keeps the doctor away then?
Absolutely, and it's science that's telling us, not just personal preference.
Scientific.
All right. So for you out there, we're going to go to our third one, which is our Quails Gate Pinot Noir. So what I would like you to do is to do exactly what we've done before. So let's give it a little bit of a swirl. Look at the beautiful color on this particular one. Isn't that lovely? So Pinot Noir is made from lighter fruits. So think of cranberry, which we have in our beautiful main appetizer or main meal tonight, which is pretty exciting. And think of cherry, and there's some raspberry and things like that. So bring it up to your nose and see if that's something you get. I'd really like to hear from you as to what you're getting out of this particular glass. It's really fun. So go on the chat box and share with us today what you've got, and then let's see what you're getting. You may be getting a little bit of cranberry, some beautiful cherry, which is quite nice. The baking spices on this are just delightful. A little bit of cinnamon I'm getting, a little bit of nutmeg. So I'm hoping that's quite good. And the color is quite outstanding. I understand it's the same color as the lipstick Toby's wearing tonight.
Oh, yes.
So, Toby, way to go. It's a beautiful color.
Perfect for the holiday season.
That's right. Give this a little taste. And I'm hoping you're getting that beautiful spice. And it's just a little bit of sweet cedar right on the tip of your tongue. You get a little bit of baking spice that's coming through, which is just delightful, especially at Christmas. Why it's going to work really well tonight with our main course here is, of course, those cranberries that are accenting, plus that high acidity, which is going to be refreshing and re-energize all that beautiful turkey that we're roasting in there as well. And the brie cheese, again, it's just going to make it so incredibly creamy and flavorful. Is really going to be quite delightful. So I'm hoping this will really work well for you.
Well, thank you very much for doing this tasting with us. I really appreciate it. Especially nice to get a chance to hear some insights into the particular wines that we're having this evening. So we know so much about them. Thanks very much to Quails Gate for being such great sponsors and supporters of Okanagan College, and in particular, Health Sciences Campaign. Thanks to all of you who are watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you for recognizing that healthcare is perhaps more so now than ever a very important part of our programming at Okanagan College. Our Health Sciences Center is just about fully operational, and many of you have already played a role in supporting it. Anybody who hasn't but feels motivated by the wine, the good food we're having this evening, the foundation can certainly help you with that, to realize that dream. Once again, everybody, I hope you have a great holiday season. I hope you remain safe, healthy, and enjoy great times with your family, good food, and good wine.
Cheers.
Cheers. Happy holidays.
Well, I don't think Holly and Jim were having any fun at all. Are we going to get Jim back in this kitchen, do you think?
I don't know. It might take him a while on that sleigh.
Thank you to Quails Gate and Voyager RV for our wine tasting tonight. A great way for you to contribute tonight is to bid in our silent auction. It's sponsored by Carrington Dental, and we have some great staycation packages. How about the glamping package?
So cool.
Glamping, like fancy camping. I like that one. We've got a luxury beachfront cottage. We've got the El Dorado. The Prestige has made donations for Vernon and Souk. I have stayed at the Prestige Resort at Souk.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Get to watch the whales.
Beautiful. What have you got there? You've got some updates. These bids are very impressive. You want to get in on this.
So Quails Gate, lovely weekend or lovely couple of nights in their bungalow. That's the current bid on that is $1,050. That's incredible. I've got to give a little plug to the helicopter ride, Segway, zipline adventure experience.
And isn't there something about a flight simulator in there too?
The college has a flight simulator, and you get to take that for a spin. So you could, practice your crash landing in Dubai or something. I don't know, but loads of fun.
Check out the silent auction. It's open until 4 o'clock tomorrow.
4 o'clock
correct?
tomorrow.
All right. All right. Okay. How's it going in the kitchen for you? Are you caught up? If you're not, it's okay. We're going to have a little demonstration here. So you just keep cooking, doing whatever you're doing, but hopefully you can take a minute to chat with Chef Danny Capaduca.
Before we go over to Danny, quick reminder, Chef Brian, on the temperature for the turkey breast inside.
160 for your internal temperature of your turkey breast. Okay.
Oh, and hold on, we have a big donation that just came in.
Stand by, Chef Capaduca.
So from Joy Bianco and Jim Hodge.
Big donation coming in.
Jim Hodgson and Joy Bianco have just donated $30,000 to the Health Sciences Center.
$30,000. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you to Joy and Jim. What an amazing gift.
And they said that supporting the education of the youth and the next generation is their privilege. So I've got goosebumps. That's just such an amazing gift. Wow. Thank you so much, Jim and Joy. I've met you briefly, and you're an amazing couple. Thank you for everything that you've done for us tonight and for the community. That's just amazing.
The $30,000 coming in. Thank you so much. All right, Chef Danny Capaduca, and we have got some dessert. Now, if you got one of the festive bags, you have Chef Danny's bonbons in there. But there's something special about this chocolate. Tell us about it.
I developed some chocolate for the college in 2016, exclusively for Okanagan College, so all of our students can learn from it. And we've got 3 different recipes, 2 different darks and 1 milk chocolate, all that I've used in the bonbons and the packages. We have our Okanagan Noir and our Kalamalka Caramel, which is a milk chocolate. And we have our Skaha, which is another dark chocolate. So we have, I'll show the chocolates so we can explain them. They've got a candy cane truffle in the package, a gingerbread dark chocolate, which is actually a vegan chocolate. And there was a rum and eggnog one, but Carrie might have ate.
Oh.
Carrie?
There's a little chocolate thief running around this kitchen.
Yes, so I've also done, just to present for everybody today, an entremet cake, which is a mousse style cake. And inside there's different layers of actual sponge cake. There's some caramel in there, and there's a chocolate praline ganache, which is caramelized nuts and chocolate.
Yum. Okay, so this is
to glaze the cake.
Okay.
Decorate the cake.
We're excited about that.
And just so everyone doesn't panic, this is not that you're supposed to be doing at home, okay?
No.
You can still catch up with your turkey while Danny does this.
Oh, actually, I
10
glazed
minutes.
a bunch of cakes for a function with my daughter in one of those baby carriers once. No glaze on the baby either.
Oh.
So I was pretty proud of that, actually.
You are a professional.
All right, so the cake is actually frozen. It's the best way to glaze it because the glaze is nice and warm and we don't want to melt the mousse. So I'm going to glaze the cake first, and then we will decorate
With your
it.
own Chef Danny chocolate.
Yes.
Look at that. That is fun to watch, isn't it? Oh.
It's amazing. Can I? No.
Already had to keep Carrie away from cake as well, so
Poor Carrie. Carrie is holding the camera, and she's taking a lot tonight.
thankfully, because now she can't.
So, you know, you see these cakes, and they are very fancy. There's no question. But when I see you do that, that doesn't look that hard.
You just saw it.
I did just see it. I did just see it, but it's so amazing.
When I swipe the cake is to basically thin out the glaze there so it doesn't dome up and it doesn't keep continuing to drip down the cake. So we want to wait a few seconds for the glaze to kind of come down and start to set. And then when we see those drips, we're going to clean it up a little bit and everything else. The sweet. The ingredients inside the chocolate mousse is not sweet at all. The only sugar that's in there is a little bit of sugar that's in the chocolate naturally. And of course, there's other sweet elements inside the cake with the caramel and a little bit of cake. I like to have my desserts balanced. I don't like them super sweet.
It's almost, it reminds me of maybe like more of a European dessert. I was in Germany last year. Things are way less sweet over there.
Definitely. So that the sugar actually gives it the shine, and it's called a Mary glaze. So if you look into the cake, you should be able to see yourself.
How do you make the glaze, Danny?
The glaze is with water, sugar, sweetened condensed milk, chocolate, obviously, and a little bit of gelatin. So that's what gives it the shine. So what I want to do now with the cake is kind of clean up the bottom. I'm just going to catch all those drips. Sorry if I keep moving further away from you.
So now, is this what your students learn at Okanagan College?
Yes, my students go through, they do cakes like this. They do everything from, we start off with chocolate chip cookies and muffins. We get into croissants. We do glazed cakes. They just did wedding cakes not too long ago. So they learn all aspects of baking and pastry.
Was pastry always your goal?
Actually not. No. I was in culinary school, and when I did my first stint of baking and pastry, I got my first bad mark, and I didn't really want one. So it was a hobby, and I started working in restaurants. I learned chocolate, and I was really fascinated by learning chocolate. So I did more in the restaurant with chocolate. I went to work at Chocolate Arts in Vancouver. And from there, it was just a real big passion of mine. I started making chocolates for my mom, and everybody liked them. So
well, who doesn't like a guy that makes chocolates?
Make your mom happy.
How do you make everybody love you? My husband just texted me and told me to bring that cake home.
I'll have to fight Carrie for it, actually.
All right, so we're cleaning it up. Something so satisfying about this.
Make it look so easy, which I would just never be able to do that.
I'm not gonna lie, I probably dropped a couple. So. So now what we're going to do is I've got some chocolate garnishes.
So quick question for you, Chef. Can we get the glaze recipe to people, or is it like a super top secret Chef Danny Capaduca, never to be revealed?
No, I don't have many top secret recipes anymore now that I teach students every year. So,
he gives them away every day.
Can't keep too many secrets, so they'll come after me. So yeah, we can definitely get the glaze recipe.
Yeah, we can get that out to everyone.
In the meantime, you have Chef Danny's bonbons in your bag. You also have a recipe for sugar cookies in the festive recipes book. Wow, look at this. Oh, you were busy while we were talking earlier. Look at this.
So basically, the fun thing about you're just kind of playing with your food. There's no real.
Well, it is art.
Wow.
It's kind of what I teach my daughter.
Do you have a little design in your head before you start, or is it just sort of how it flows?
Just kind of how it flows. Yeah, exactly. I personally, when you're doing a glaze like this, I like to show the glaze, so I don't want to cover the whole cake and everything. And, you know, really it's just kind of providing textures and everything else. If I were to sell cakes like this as well, I kind of want enough garnishes so everybody gets a little piece of chocolate once you cut it all up. So it's a little bit different than some of the cakes that we grew up with, in the sense that, you know, every piece had a little buttercream rosette and things like that. So, yeah, when you're sending this home for 8 to 10 people, you kind of want to have, everybody wants a
8
piece
to
of
10
chocolate.
pieces of chocolate on top.
Yeah, because if you grew up like in a household like mine, and you're going to fight over a piece of chocolate. So that's essentially the cake.
Beautiful. Now, can we cut into it?
Yes.
Oh. Can we please cut into this cake?
I've got another one right here that we'll cut into because that one's still going to be a little bit frozen inside.
Magic of Zoom. Oh, lovely. Okay, let's see how it looks inside.
Now we fight over the bits
Yeah.
of chocolate
Well,
coming
we
off the
got you here.
top.
We shouldn't be good, Helen.
We shouldn't fight over it. Jim is going to be devastated that he's still out on his sleigh and missing this.
Get back here.
So stunning, isn't it?
So that's my piece. There we go.
So I just have a quick question for Chef Brian. Where did the goat's cheese come from, Chef?
The goat cheese is from Happy Farms. Happy Farms is the brand of the goat cheese.
Where are they based, you know?
I don't have the actual answer to that.
Sorry, Chef.
So
But it sounds like a great place.
apparently they're
Farms.
happy.
Yeah.
Apparently they're happy. And cheese, of course, cheese makes you happy. So I love the name of their company, and I love their product. We use them here at the college in many different types of products from different varieties of cheeses. But yeah, the company name that brought it was from Happy Valley.
Happy Valley. There we go.
So you
All right.
get a look at the inside of
The
the
layers,
cake there.
yeah.
And there's layers of cake, soft caramel, some more cake, and then the chocolate praline inside.
Beautiful.
So it's really trying to teach my students a real balance of textures. The very bottom is a very thin layer of chocolate and Rice Krispies and whey tea, which is a very thin cereal. So I always kind of want a little bit of crunch in there with everything being soft, and want to balance out the sweetness as well, like I talked about before.
Well, it looks amazing. I'm guessing it tastes amazing. And if you haven't already eaten your Chef Danny bonbons from your bag, those probably taste amazing.
I don't want to say it in front of Brian, but you should eat dessert first. Sure.
I picked the wrong time for it to die.
Yeah. There we go. Delicious. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Chef Danny. Yay. Beautiful. All right. I think it's time to head back outside. Max cruising around Kelowna on her sleigh, and I know that she died one of our key donors' homes. I'm not going to say who it is, but this person has contributed a lot to our community, a lot of philanthropy over the years. So Max, we're ready for another surprise.
Hi everyone, it's Max DeHart again with Jamie from Toyota. We are at a very special donor's house right now, and we're going to walk up to the driveway. This person is not only a great donor of the Okanagan College Foundation, he is a great philanthropist for all of the community. So we're just walking up to his doorbell right now. Here we go. Hello. They're all laughing. Hello. Hi, Jack.
What?
I'll stand back here, Jack.
Hi, Joe,
Everyone,
too.
This
Hey,
is
Jack.
Jack Kopak.
Jamie.
And this is, yeah, Jamie. Do you recognize Jamie?
Well, no, with this great big black mustache.
Jack is the former owner of Kelowna Toyota. Jack, I
Thank
have
you.
a special award for you
Oh, do
during our
you?
gala. It's a certificate of appreciation.
Oh.
The Leona
Yes,
Co-Fed
oh.
Nursing Award. and we wanted to present this to you tonight. And this is for all your philanthropy, not only for the foundation, the Okanagan College Foundation, but you've been a great supporter of Kelowna for many years. Jack and I have known each other for like 40 years.
Yes, at least.
So I am very excited and really happy to be up here to do this.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, we have some other things for you too.
Oh,
we have a beautiful, I hope you haven't had dessert yet.
No, we haven't.
Here you go.
Oh,
Here's
Jamie, you're.
Jamie has been an excellent chauffeur.
Surprising me though. Oh my goodness.
Is there a cake in there?
Yes, there is a beautiful
That beautiful chocolate one we just saw, or
No.
something similar?
Well, it's a surprise.
Oh, I can't wait.
So yes, we wanted to just thank you very much
Thank
for
you.
everything.
Thank
And
you.
your
You should
support.
have let me have a little email. Come on.
No.
I
said
there'd be a surprise. I guess
Right.
you did, but I didn't know what format.
We're having a wonderful time, and he's a
Yes.
great chauffeur.
Yes, I know he is.
Yes, he
This
is.
is Toyota's
So
chauffeur as
enjoy
well.
your evening, and thank you for
Oh,
everything.
Thank you.
Probably in the next little
Yes,
while.
we got a nice little household of Jillian and Andy's family.
We got grandkids
And
here.
the
Oh,
grandkids,
great.
yes.
Hi, everybody.
So
Hi.
wave.
Hi, guys.
Say
How
thank
are
you.
you?
Yeah.
Hi.
Rich and Queen.
Nice to see you guys.
Aw.
Okay, enjoy your dessert. Okay.
Oh, brother, this is really
Hey,
nice.
can we get a picture with you guys?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
How would you like to do that?
Well, why don't we just right here, and you get up
Yeah,
here.
we'll just distance a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want you
Yeah,
to
you don't want
Yeah,
to
so you come
get
up in
anybody
here.
upset here.
Okay, you guys just distance a little bit.
Yeah, we'll try to do our best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Great,
Good.
thanks so
I'll
much.
talk to you in a bit.
Now we get to
Thanks.
enjoy our
Oh, man.
Hey, thanks very much.
Come see me.
Thank you.
So my Highlander here. You
Okay.
come.
Yes, we have a beautiful car.
Thank you.
A Toyota.
Thanks for surprising us all over the place.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, little ones. Bye, everyone.
What a
Bye.
fun job, right? Surprising people on their front doors. You want to say a little bit about the COFIDs?
Yeah, so
Zoom.
we were just enjoying that on our Zoom here, and I've left the sound on. Yeah, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Jack, and in fact all of his family. Jack is such an amazing philanthropist in the community and supports so many great causes. He was one of the first to join our campaign here and support the home care lab in the Health Sciences Centre in memory of Leona. And so it was really lovely that we were able to create a nursing bursary in her name. Yeah, and so a huge thank you to Jack. What a special man.
You know what I love? I love that you know so much about all the donors. You can see that it really
they're
is.
so
Every
special.
donation is special and it's a mark on the people who work here. Okay, Max, I have to tell Max, make sure you drop Jim off. We've got to get to this warm Brussels sprout salad. We still have one more dish to make. We need Jim. But first, we're going to take some time for another story about the difference healthcare workers make in our lives. And you just might recognize the family in this next video.
I thought I was empathetic before Darby entered my life, and it's taken it to a whole nother level.
She's a rallier. If she can rally, we can rally.
Having someone like Kristen, it completely calms the entire house. We are able to relax for the first time. We're able to get quality sleep. She honestly cares about Darby. I think the training that she had and the fact that she's a nurse puts her to a whole nother level, and a level that I think Darby deserves.
All right, we are back. And can you imagine, as a parent, as you just saw there, the peace of mind and the feeling of support that comes from having such a compassionate and confident presence in your home. It's amazing. And it's very special that those people can get the training right here in Kelowna. So luck of the draw, Skibbington won the early bird prize tonight. Why we thought she might look familiar. She's a huge supporter of this campaign. So thank you, Skibbington family. And potatoes is coming along really well. And don't forget about that silent auction. Check out the website because it closes at 4 tomorrow. So you still have some time. You don't have to leave the kitchen. You can check that out later. All right, we have had a special request. We have our cake from Chef Danny. Is he? Oh, he's not here, but there's his cake that he just created. And now we want to auction it off live. I don't know who the auctioneer is going to be. Is that me? Do
I
get
guess
that
it's a timing thing. Maybe we, you know, the highest bidder at the end of the show when
through
we
the
close.
chat box? Is that what we're using? Okay,
Yeah.
so in the chat box right now, this beautiful cake you saw inside, it's got crunch, it's got caramel, it's got mousse, it's got the special Chef Danny chocolate, right? Amazing. This cake, right? How much are you going to pay for it?
Go for it. So yeah, highest bidder when the show closes, and we can arrange for collection tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
Get to it in the chat box. We're going to keep an eye on it as we start our warm Brussels sprout salad.
Yeah. And for those who haven't heard of a warm Brussels sprout salad, it's something a little different. I mean, Brussels sprouts are a phenomenal vegetable, not just because they taste really good and really healthy for you, but there's so many things you can do with it that we didn't really think about when I was a kid. We just thought they were just overboiled and overcooked. And then they were that unpleasant part of the turkey dish that nobody wanted to touch.
Why did we not like them when we were kids and now we love them?
I just think that we found better ways of preparing these dishes finally, other than the way we grew up with them years ago. And what we're going to do with this particular dish is we are going to actually separate all the leaves off of the Brussels sprouts. So Arlene is going to take her knife. She's got most of them done, but she wants to just show you just a demonstration of how you're going to remove the leaves off the Brussels sprouts. So just removing the roots.
It's actually like little heads of lettuce or cabbage, right?
Now,
Cabbage.
The Brussels sprouts that we sent everybody, we did all the cleaning of it and all those unpleasant leaves on the outside. And
Good of you.
So all you need to do is about 1/3 of the way down from the that whole part off, and that'll loosen up the leaves. You can just pull them apart.
Nice.
Now you're going to reach a part of the Brussels sprout where it's.
I'm too nervous.
Sorry?
I said I'll do that after. I'm too nervous.
It's like this is a job for the children. They have small hands.
This is one of those great jobs where the whole family can get involved and participate. It will be a little time consuming, but I think it's a really good way of demonstrating how wonderful this vegetable can be and how wonderful this dish is. Now we're using olive oil and lemon to keep it fresh because our dish is quite rich and quite heavy. So the green and the lemon in this dish is going to be a real help to the richness of the dish.
Okay.
Okay, it'll sort of help carry the food and balance it out a little bit. But if you were to do this completely separate, and then you wouldn't have to use all these specific ingredients. You could use onion, you can use bacon, you can use a lot of different other vegetables. And it's a very fast dish to make because Brussels sprout leaves are very thin. They don't take a lot of cooking and a lot of time to prepare.
All right, well, while we are watching Arlene do that, I just want to update two things. First of all, bidding on this beautiful Chef Danny cake, now at $250. $250, okay, so people really want this cake. And our grand total, and Jim's back, 3 announcements, and our grand total right now, he just says 300, or Jim wants.
Oh, he's just bid $300 for the cake.
Can I make my big announcement? $101,849. How amazing is that? Plus another 300 from Jim so far. So who knows where it's going to end tonight for this beautiful, beautiful cake. Good job, Chef Danny. All right. Back to the Brussels sprouts.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Well,
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, that was really exciting news. I was really involved in what you were talking about there. That's excellent news to hear. So we've got a lot of the Brussels sprouts already done. Okay, but we're just going to let you take your time and take the time you need to get all of those leaves off. And then what Arlene's doing now is she's just thinly slicing the roots that we're using all of the Brussels sprout. Okay. And then what we're going to do is just combine them all together. And then we're going to get the pan ready to start warming up. Now because these are very delicate leaves, the temperature that you do this at on your oven, I would say medium high heat. So if your dial goes to 10, just turn it to 5.
Okay.
And that's a perfect temperature for this dish. If you have a gas burner, generally you want to do it where your flame is about only 1/3 high from all the way open. So that's about a medium high heat. And we're using induction. but any stove is fine, any stove top. Okay, go ahead, Garfield. Now, Jim, do you want to come in and help Garfield? He might need a hand with the lemon, maybe giving a bit of a finish on the end and then a finished seasoning. But Garfield is going to sort of show you the way. All right. What are you going to do, Garfield? Yeah. Now, how do you test the pan if it's hot or not?
Oh, you can feel it by your
Yeah.
hand. Actually,
Just putting your hand over it. Is it warm
Yeah.
enough? Okay. And how high do you want the? Yeah. Okay.
I drip water in it, is that right?
Sometimes,
Okay.
yeah. You put your oil in the pan, and then maybe you just take a little flick of water, and if you hear a little sizzle, you're ready to go. I think you're ready to go. Do you feel that, Jim?
Yes.
Careful, Jim.
Careful.
I listened carefully.
All right.
so you will add a little bit of oil. That's the salad. You don't want too heavy, right? A bit more.
A little bit more. There you go.
Fat adds flavor. That
That's
is
right.
flavor.
And olive oil is delicious, and it's
Yes.
good for you.
How do you tell when the oil is ready?
Well, what you'll notice is when the oil goes in the pan, it'll actually expand because oil will double in volume when it gets hotter. So it'll look oil. There's more oil than before, and you'll also notice these things
Eggs,
there.
yeah.
That's sort of telling you that it's time to start sautéing something. Yeah, and then put them in. You can kind of hear that sizzle. If you don't hear that sizzle, it wasn't hot enough. Maybe what you can do is test it by putting one of the leaves in the pan and hearing that sizzle. And if you don't hear that, just wait a little bit.
And so how long are these going to be in the pan?
These are going to be in the pan just a few minutes because it's a very hot pan. They're very delicate leaves, and you don't want these leaves to get mushy in any way. You still want them to still have that slight firm texture.
We don't want them to be your grandma's Brussels sprouts.
No, remember that we'll put the turkey and the Brussels sprouts on at the same time.
No, gosh, right? Okay, so just a few minutes there.
Well, what you're going to do after that's a finishing move. Okay, so once we realize that the Brussels sprouts are cooked well enough, we're going to finish by squeezing lemon over the top, just to give it a really nice freshness, and then salt and pepper, a quick toss, and that's it.
Easy.
Yeah, that's it. Now, Garfield has a little strainer there, so when you squeeze that lemon, so we don't get any seeds in there. Have you had something like this before?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's getting more and more popular. Brussels sprouts are becoming much more popular as
Well,
a.
we have a debate at my house. My wife's online, so she always wins this debate. But as to when they're actually done, I like them a little bit more cooked.
Okay.
She likes them more raw.
Okay.
So is there a golden rule here, or is it just taste?
I think it's just taste. As long as you get the flavor that you're looking for, I would rather go for a good flavor and slightly overdone than anything else. Okay, so worry about your flavor. Don't worry about your doneness. Okay, and it's not going to be right for everybody. It's not going to be a perfect doneness for everybody. We're almost there. All right, are you ready? Are you ready? I'll hold that mic for you.
It looks so fresh. Yeah, okay.
Somebody's saying Garfield is a wizard with the chopper.
Good job, Garfield.
What about the guy doing the lemons?
We don't have any chats about that
I'm
yet.
gonna have enough. Or just. Okay.
I just want to interrupt quickly. We got an amazing donation from Steve Thompson of $1,000. So thank you, Steve. That's
Thank you,
incredible.
Steve.
Woo!
$1,000 from Steve Thompson. We're pushing that total up there.
Oh, he wasn't trying to outbid me for the cake, was he?
That was not for the cake.
That's it.
Steve,
we are done.
You missed your chance.
From there, it can go right onto your plate.
Oh, really? Okay, so this is
Yeah.
really, we're getting close.
We're getting close.
We're getting close with everything. And I think, Helen, am I right? We have, not yet? I got special guests. We do have some special guests. We're just, you know how this works with Zoom. We're just making the connection. So it is coming. So we'll just go back to the Brussels sprouts for a moment.
Yes, we can go.
All right.
Here we
All right, well,
go.
let's do that. We've got some special guests standing
To said
by.
something.
We have Helen.
A very special family, I think, that want to make a very special announcement.
I hope you
One of
play.
our
Okay.
big supporters, and I think we're going to go over to them now.
We've got Rod and Diane Friesen standing by. We want to bring them on the screen while we announce an amazing donation. Are you ready? You
Deep
say
breath.
you say it, Helen.
Okay, $150,000. Oh my goodness!
Wow, isn't that
They can see us.
And there they are.
Diane, Rod, hello.
It worked. Oh my
There
goodness.
they are. I think you have to. Can we hear you? Can we hear them? We're good.
I don't know. Can you hear us?
We got you. We got you. What an amazing, amazing gift. Want to tell us what inspired
This has
you?
been the pressure. The pressure all day was whether this would work. Not for me, or not for Rod, but for me. Hi, everybody.
All right. Well, Diane and Rod are the proud owners of Voyager RV, our event wine sponsor. They've supported the trades here for a long time, right, Jim?
Yeah, they have, and just great supporters of our trades campaign, and thank you so much for your very, very generous gift. Helen told me how much you planned to make tonight.
What an incredible
Don't know if I
evening
believed
this
her, but Helen, I think that hits the goal, doesn't it? It is.
I don't know.
That is
Can we speak?
Very well
amazing
done. Thank
way
you.
to cap off the night. Thank you so much. I have to know, are you two cooking tonight?
Well, yes, but now that we've done this, we can relax and cook and eat. But we've had a little bit of wine. This has been.
I saw Diane when she picked up the food.
Oh, it's not working. This can you hear me?
You're wonderful. Thank you.
Much. What a way
Okay,
to
thanks.
cap off our night of donations. We're going to get you a new total. And are you hungry yet? Does your house smell delicious? Because it smells delicious in here. So I think we are ready to get a plating demonstration. Your turkey, your potatoes won't be quite finished just yet, but when they are, we want to make sure you can present them as beautifully.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to first start with the appetizer.
Okay.
I think that would be first, okay? So Arlene, why don't you come over here and show Jim what you're going to be doing. So as they come out of the oven, give them a few minutes to rest because you're going to handle them and they're going to be a little, showing you they're a little warm. So she's just using a fork to sort of get the fork out of there. Or what you can do is with our hands, we want to keep it nice, and then just try to gingerly bring it off the skewer. And then it's going to go onto your favorite plate, any plate that you have in your home, okay?
Will work.
That will work. But I mean, if you have decorative plates at home, you can do that as well. Now, also with this dish, it's very common to serve it with a bit of a preserve or some sort of a sauce like that. Like, for instance, we have a balsamic glaze here, okay? That's a very common ingredient you can get in any grocery store, already pre-made, already thickened and sweetened. Or you can use any type of preserve you have in your fridge, whether it be like some sort of a slightly less sweet jam or a jelly or things like that. And that'll sort of go along with the dish as well.
Lovely.
Okay. All right. So why don't you let Jim do the balsamic and just go over the plate? Yeah. Like
I was hoping to do the easy part.
Oh, we want
You can show me how.
to see how fancy you can garnish this. So if anybody at home has something like that in their cupboard or in their fridge and you want to try it, go ahead.
What kind of balsamic is it?
Well, we actually made this right here in the school. So we took balsamic vinegar with a bit of sugar and we reduced it in a pot on the stove by 3/4 until it becomes syrupy.
How much do you want?
Just a few drizzles over the top. It's just to sort of accent.
That way? Okay, got it. Okay, let's see what I
Okay.
do.
That looks perfect. That was perfect. Thanks very much. That was really good. That little bit of balsamic will it'll sort of give it a tang to the flavor, and it'll sort of match the sweetness. and a slight sour note too. So it's well balanced.
Those look so good. I might just shove one of those behind my mask while we move on here. Okay.
But I think maybe it's time we can actually plate our turkey dish as well.
Okay, so again, your turkey may not be out of the
Your
oven. It
turkey may
probably
not be
is
done.
not, but this is how we want it to look. And by
That's
the
right.
way, we'd like you to post pictures of your plated
It's
food.
time to carve the turkey, and I think Jim's going to carve the turkey for us.
Of course
I
you
think,
are.
yeah. So Tony's going to pull it out of the oven, and Jim is going to make our plate for us.
All right.
So just so you know, we've made sure our turkey has reached 160 degrees. It has rested for a good 15 minutes.
Oh, look how brown it is.
That looks wonderful. The three of you did a fantastic job. Fantastic job. That looks excellent.
It does. It's beautiful. I see why they're so big at the beginning.
They
shrink.
are. They do shrink up a little bit. And if you noticed, all the stuffing stayed within the bird.
That's
just
your
from making
skill,
that.
Jim. That was your skill.
That's you. Yeah. Okay. You have a sharp knife in front of you. That's right. And you have just a bit of a little fork there, just so.
My assistant is cutting the string off now.
Okay.
Doing a great job.
You can see the string has a theme here with this. Putting it on, taking it off. It's a.
Yeah.
And you see how well it sort of maintained its perfect shape. It didn't curl or change shape at all. It just shrank a little bit. And of course, making sure that the string wasn't overly tight on the turkey as well. There we go.
When I cut it, I'm going to cut it across, right?
Yeah, so you're going to cut it basically from end to end. Think of it as like a loaf of bread.
Got it.
Think of it as like a loaf of bread.
And how thick should I?
Well, that is personal preference. You probably want to do it no more than about 1/4 of an inch thick.
So what would this feed? 4, 5, 6?
It depends on the portion size, but you could get up to 6 people with
Okay.
this, which is really good. All right, now transfer that turkey to the cutting board. There we go, and I'll remove that, not with my bare hands because that's hot.
I prefer to start from this end. Okay, ready to
Yeah,
go?
absolutely.
All right. Fork in. Oh, nice sharp knife. That's important.
That is important. That's beautiful.
Okay, now if you have a look, as you start slicing into it, you're going to start seeing that stuffing appear. Hopefully in the center.
Oh.
Now, traditional turkey has gravy.
Yes, yes.
But for this, the actual filling itself is rich enough that this doesn't need a sauce. So it sort of acts in 2 ways. It's a stuffing, and it's a flavor, and it's a sauce in itself. So look at that. Great job.
How are we doing on the cake?
Where are we at?
Now for the dish we're doing, I think that's going to be great right there. That's all we're going to need to plate this dish. And they're going to show us the potato dish now. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
But I think they still want you to make the whole plate.
Okay. Couldn't Helen be helping on this? Because we're kind of experts at this, Helen.
All right, there is that potato pave. Delicious.
So taking it out of the container makes it a little easier to cut.
Tell me I have to cut that too.
No,
Thank
you don't have to
Because
cut
you're
that.
going to use your cookie cutter.
Well, I brought the cookie cutter out to demonstrate, okay? Because if you were serving 6 people, this cookie cutter would work perfectly getting those shapes. Or it could be a triangle or a square. Or you can just take your regular knife, cut a nice piece that we're going to do. We're just going to cut a nice strip. And we're going to take our spatula, and we're just going to transfer it from there right to the plate.
Sounds like a job for these.
Yeah. How's everybody doing out there with theirs? I hope everyone's doing well.
Well, I hope they look as beautiful as this. If they don't, we know they're going to taste good.
Okay, go ahead. Now, I'm going to put the potato down. Right there. You can use that one. I think that might be a little bit easier. Now, if you show the camera, just sort of to the side there, you can sort of start seeing the layers, like paved cobblestone. And then that'll go onto the plate just like that. Wonderful. So how you want to plate is completely up to you. You to plate things the way you want. We're just going to demonstrate how we would do it.
Okay, is it still in style to kind of pile things?
It is. Like you look at negative space on your plate the same way you still look at the area on the plate that you would put the food on. So that empty space is just as important to chefs. So we generally will use the middle of the plate or just offset to the plate as well. So putting the potato down and then putting some of the green in a situated way and then the turkey right over the top. That is a standard way of plating.
All right.
Okay.
So Jim, let's see your creative side.
Yeah, I'll hold this for you. Okay. What do we got here? There we go.
So I think I should just do it in kind of a semicircle or?
Yeah, you know what? I would really love to see your creativity.
And how many plates do we have to make with these?
We're just going to make one. We're just going to make one.
Okay.
I think that looks really good.
Yeah, perfect.
There.
And then 2 or 3 slices of the turkey.
Drop them on the top.
Just right over the top, like you're dressing right over top of the potato.
Okay.
Oh, a lovely dinner.
Yeah. And what you can do.
Garnish.
And voila.
So somebody's just saying theirs is nowhere near ready, but that's okay.
That's fine. It's actually not meant to be ready yet, right?
That's right. It's not meant to be ready yet. We're just showing you.
This is how you're going to plate it.
That's right. And like I was saying earlier, all these turkey breasts are different sizes. They're not perfectly all the same size. Some will take an hour and 15, some will take an hour and a half, some could take even a little bit longer. The point is to 160.
160, or if you don't have a thermometer, till the juices
till the
run.
juices run clear.
Right. Thank you so much for this amazing menu. Again, you have
welcome.
it. You'll be able to do it again. And we want to right now, before we go, everyone's scurrying around here trying to get the final number, but we have more.
So we just had another big gift in from Deborah and Tom Marrow. I hope I pronounced your name right there. $20,000 for a care bed in the healthcare lab. Thank you so much. That is incredible. Thank you.
$20,000. And that's an important thing to note as well, is that you can direct your money to certain things, right?
Yeah, so we have some amazing spaces within the Health Science Center, and we recognize all of our donors with, and you know, there are spaces that people are choosing that are really personal to them. And we can also, I sound like a real salesman here, but we can structure your payments over 5 years.
We want to make it work for everyone.
Well, it's because people can invest.
This is my iPad.
No, but just listen on your iPad instead of
that we saw a big jump in our total thanks to a $150,000 donation from Rod and Diane Friesen. So we've had very generous support tonight. And one person who's been so supportive through all this is our title sponsor tonight, Jane Hoffman. We have a final message from her.
We had a great time cooking tonight in our own kitchens. I want to thank everyone for taking part and those who have donated towards community health. Like others who shared their stories, I am grateful for the healthcare workers who have personally impacted our family. That's why I'm announcing tonight that I will be raising $300,000 towards the nursing labs to support 15 care bed units. The holiday season is giving back, and I'm committing to sponsoring one of those beds myself. In the coming weeks, I'll be calling on my friends and colleagues to join me, and if you'd like to share in the spirit of giving this holiday season by supporting a care bed, please call me. Here's wishing everyone a healthy, happy holiday season. Cheers.
Thank you, Jane, and happy holidays to you and your family as well. Okay, we have another donation. I know Max wants to get back in. Can we bring Max back in to the screen? She has got an announcement she wants to make. There she is. Hello, Max.
Hi, guys. Max again with Jamie from Toyota. Chris and I did give a donation early in the spring, but I'd just like to top it up a bit, and we'll give another $1,000 tonight to top up our spring donation, or the one we made in the spring. So really happy to do that.
Oh, thank you so much. Another 1,000 from Maxine DeHart. And we just want to gather everyone around. You guys have some wine in your glasses because we have got a grand total to share tonight. What was our goal again, Helen?
250,000.
And how much did we raise tonight, Helen?
$294,329.
And I think an extra 300 or so for that cake, right?
For the cake, yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
Well, I think I got a bid on the cake, but I'm not sure.
Well, we want to thank all of our sponsors, all of our donors, our amazing culinary team here. You guys did amazing. You're going to be amazing chefs. Thank you so much for coming out tonight.
Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody. This has been a lot of fun. A little bit tricky getting to Quails Gate and back in such a record time, but you know, Max is a kind of fast driver. We managed to pull that off. And I hope all of you at home, I've seen some pictures that come from my cooks at home, and a dog that's passed right out in the kitchen in front of it. So I don't know if he somehow raided the dinner and he's passed out because he's had too much to eat, or he's been into the wine. I don't really care. I'm glad everybody there is having a good time, as I know others online are. So chef and apprentices, thank you so much. Sponsors, all our sponsors.
Oh, yeah.
I got somebody talking in my ear here. Helen, would you like to say something, or can I just finish this? Okay, good, thanks. So I was proposed a toast to all that have managed to pull this off tonight, all the wonderful support we've gotten from so many people. Tom, thank you so much for, you can't see Tom, he's in the background. He's making sure that the cameras and mics and everything work. Pardon me? And Drew Vincent, who is a stay-at-home gala, is a former student of ours, and he's been helping out with his company.
Wow.
He's rapidly becoming a real pro at doing these things. So what a great night. What a great result. Thank you very much for doing what you have done so graciously.
Thank you for having me.
Putting
This
up
is
with
such
us.
amazing event to be a part of. And don't forget, the Carrington Dental silent auction continues until tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So we can push that $294,000 total up. Keep bidding. And they're giggling because somebody's making a joke in the chat. Is that right?
Slice it all up.
I know you're having fun. I know you're having fun in the kitchen. Keep cooking, enjoy your meal, and happy holidays to all of you. Thanks so much.
Thank you everyone so much.
Cheers. Good night.